Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking a little bit about MrBeast once again. Yesterday I talked about the Ava Tyson situation where I went over the Discord logs, and today I kind of want to go over MrBeast and how he's been faring in all of this, and I will just say it has not been very pretty. So just to kind of give a little bit of context, just in case nobody's heard about anything, Ava Tyson, who is one of the longtime friends and co-creators with MrBeast, was found out to be grooming minors and also supporting child porn artists, so not a great look. And in light of that, there's been a lot more scrutiny on the MrBeast team as a whole in their operations, and a lot of people have felt emboldened by these allegations to come forward with their own allegations, some of which have been touching MrBeast. Now, I just want to really quickly talk about MrBeast's connection with the Ava Tyson video and situation, and then we will go on to the other allegations, which are arguably more damaging. I guess it depends how it shakes out. Honestly, we don't really know too much right now. But MrBeast, in the aftermath of the Ava Tyson situation, stated that he didn't know any of this was going on and that he had hired a third-party investigation team to investigate what was going on and get to the bottom of it, figure out who all the players were, and he would take steps from there. And Ava Tyson was, of course, fired after this incident. But now it's starting to seem like MrBeast did know. I mean, we have proof that he knew to some extent, and more it's seeming like he was actually at least in the Discord chat for a while. There's a photo on your screen now from a video, I think it was about tipping pizza guys $10,000. That video is still on the internet, but this clip has been removed, which features this photo, although you can still find it online, which shows MrBeast actually looking up at the photo of a Shadman artwork on the wall that Ava Tyson had purchased. Now, this is a clear indicator that MrBeast was aware that this was going on and apparently didn't see enough of a problem with it to take it down off his wall for a video. I can chalk that up to just forgetting to do that, although then again, even having somebody be your friend that supports an artist like that, a little bit questionable, but I've seen worse on the internet, as we all have in the last few days even. Now, going forward, here's a couple pictures that I was able to find from the Discord chats that show pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, of course, these are still technically allegations, but the evidence is starting to appear more clearly in view that MrBeast was indeed part of these Discord channels, at least for a while, and then left, to which somebody said Jimmy left, which is kind of a weird thing to do, to leave your best friend's Discord server unless you know something weird is going on. I mean, I can't really imagine any other reason you would leave your best friend's Discord server that you're also trying to help in terms of their own influencer career. So it definitely raises a lot of red flags. I assume as more chats get released, and, you know, I don't think really this third-party independent investigation is going to be super damning against MrBeast. I don't really see any possibility where you pay an investigator and they rat you out. I really feel like this should have been handled by proper authorities. I hope it still will be, and maybe that will give us a better picture, but ultimately, if it comes down to people having to come forward to get the truth, then that's just how it's going to be, and I'll be sure to cover all that in the coming days. So that's one aspect, just one itsy bitsy aspect that has been troubling MrBeast. If you want to call it itsy bitsy, you know, could result in jail time, could result in his whole channel getting banned or taken down or destroyed just naturally. But there's a whole nother separate crisis going on, and it's really being attacked on by multiple creators across multiple different incidents, and I'm only going to have enough time to talk about one of them. So there have been a few videos now made about the Beast Games, which is MrBeast's partnership with Amazon Prime Video that he is making that's pretty much a game show. There have been some allegations of abuse, physical abuse that is, emotional abuse between the male and women contestants. I'm not going to get super deep into that. I don't know enough about that. If you guys want me to talk about that, I will in another video. But for now, I want to talk about what I'm sure most people that are covering the subject have heard about right now, which is Dogpack404's video called "I Worked for MrBeast, He's a Fraud." So Dogpack404 was an employee of MrBeast. He spent about a year investigating the channel, and at this point felt that it was ready for release, and honestly he couldn't have picked a better time. And I have to say, the video is pretty damning. It's pretty damning, and I'm not really sure what the long-term consequences of such a video are for MrBeast, but really quickly, I just kind of want to go over some of the key things to take away from the video. So number one is the idea that MrBeast fakes his video. There's talk about CGI being involved, which lowers the stakes. Personally, I could probably live with that. If that was the only offense, I could probably live with it. Does it kind of ruin the whole idea that he doesn't fake a single thing about his videos? Absolutely. But I don't think it's that damning, considering that most of the stuff they do is actually real. If you want to make some CGI alterations to add stakes or, increase the watchability of a video or change the look of a background, I'm kind of all right with that. I'm sure you will all let me know in the comments how you feel about that, but I personally don't have a huge problem with that if it's something minor. Now, then there's the bigger issues. One of the bigger issues is MrBeast doesn't actually pick random people. They're all employees or friends and family of employees. Now, this is a lot bigger of a claim, and also it kind of wraps into the idea that the producers kind of choose the winners. Now, this evidence, I will say, is very good. There are multiple messages from people to MrBeast kind of asking why he rigged it, and he doesn't really deny that he rigged it. So I would love to see how MrBeast responds to it. I mentioned before his response to the Ava Tyson situation. In the wake of everything that's been found, he still has remained radio silent. And, I don't want to dogpile on him. I know this video does seem like it's dogpiling. I don't want to sit here and say that no response is an admission of guilt. But, I will say in the court of public opinion, it usually doesn't look great to just not say anything. That's what I'll say. Of course, he's innocent until proven guilty, but that's kind of the problem, is that it looks like he's kind of being proven guilty right now in the court of public opinion. And he really hasn't said anything that would lead anyone to believe that anything that is said has been false. In fact, he's the only one that has looked like a liar at any stage of this. So I'm very curious to see what his next moves are in this whole situation. Really quickly, I also want to touch on the fact that the last part of the video by Dogpack404 discusses heavily the use of illegal lotteries and also the manipulation tactics, I will put quotes around that MrBeast uses on his child audience. Now, I totally get the point that Dogpack404 is making. Yes, there are tactics used such as subscribe for a cookie that are clearly going to work better on children than adults, although that is probably arguable. I'm sure we could all get the irony of subscribe for a cookie. I personally think that using tactics like this isn't necessarily something that should get a creator canceled. I'll go out on a limb there and say that. If you want to say subscribe for a cookie, I don't necessarily see a problem with that, personally. Again, I may be going out on a limb here, but as a creator, you have to drive traffic to your channel, and it's not like subscribing is a harmful thing. You don't have to pay to play in that situation. Now, of course, whether these people actually have a chance to be in a video is another question. But the practice itself, I don't really have a problem with. Now, Dogpack404 spends most of the video talking about lotteries, and the reason why is because that's where he can really nail MrBeast. There's a ton of footage out there of the live streams doing lotteries and giveaways, and there's a lot of instances of illegal giveaways. I won't go super in-depth into it. I'm personally not super familiar with giveaway law and lottery law. This video does a great job of breaking down the actual law and then showing the violations. So I highly recommend you go check it out if you're more interested. But I will say that, YouTubers have been doing this for a long time, right? These kind of shady giveaways, kind of shady lotteries, fake signatures, all of this stuff seems pretty cut and dry, honestly. And it'll just be kind of interesting to see how the public reacts to that, right? Because, again, since most YouTubers do it, it's possible that his young audience won't even necessarily care, right? And I guess that's what we kind of have to think about is how will his young audience respond to it? I think if enough public pressure builds, it will have to come from adults shutting it down. At this point, I think his super young fans may be too in love with MrBeast, for lack of a better word, to recognize what's going on, personally. And it's possible that he's kind of dependent on that the whole time. But we'll definitely have to see. I will, of course, be following the situation. If you guys have any thoughts of your own, please leave them down in the comments, and have a great day.